Day 21. Have a magical Christmas. Oh my goodness. That made me sneeze. Okay, so that's very nice. Thank you, Cadbury's, for wishing me a magical Christmas. I thought to mark 21 days, I would think of 21 things that makes Christmas magical. I actually must confess that I didn't think of them all myself. I did ask my friends also to contribute, and they have. So here we go. All right, number 1, surprises. The excitement of getting unexpected gifts. That thing you didn't know you were going to get, that somebody's totally surprised you with, tickets to something you really wanted to see, a concert you really wanted to go to, or a piece of jewellery that you weren't expecting. That's always really exciting. That's pretty magical. The sort of anticipation of that. Catching up with your friends and family who you haven't seen for a long time. For me, this is a big one because I don't get to see my family very much because we live quite far apart. So it's always nice to go and visit them for Christmas, or sometimes they come up to see me, and it's just nice to spend time with them, and also to catch up with friends who you haven't seen for a while. Every Christmas Eve at the place where I work, all of the, not all, but a lot of alumni come back to celebrate Christmas Eve, see the Christmas show, and it's always really nice to see everybody. Such a nice celebration. So, number 3, having time off your everyday routine to just rest and relax. Again, this is another major one for me, in that I tend to be pretty busy all year round with work and doing several shows at the same time. So it's really nice to have some time off and just relax and put my feet up, watch some telly and just, chill out a bit, not have to worry about where I need to be in the next 5 minutes. Number 4, giving gifts to others and making them happy. I don't know about you, but I like giving gifts to people. I don't sort of buy as many presents as I used to. I used to think it was the be all and end all and you had to buy gifts for everybody, and it's really not that important. It shouldn't be that big a part of Christmas, I don't think. So I really only now buy for my mum and dad, and other members of my family, and maybe the odd friend, but that is about it. I kind of try and limit it because people have the money to buy what they want, and I can't, and the things that they really want are usually very expensive, and I couldn't afford to buy them that anyway. So rather than making myself broke or getting them something they don't want, like bubble bath, nobody wants that. I would rather not get them anything, but see them and say Happy Christmas, and go out for a meal or go out for a drink. I think that's a much nicer way of celebrating, in my opinion. I think the gift of your friendship or whatever is much more important than any, set of deodorant. Number 5, it's the one time of the year when you can really sit back and appreciate everything you have. A lot of the time on Christmas Day, when you're sitting down, suddenly the news will come on at the end of the day and you'll see that there's some terrible tragedy has happened. Like several years ago, there was the tsunami, and you just think, thank God that isn't me. And, you feel sorry for the people that's happening to, and you just think, you sit there and you think, I'm very lucky to have what I have. And I think, I know I sadly do it. I sit there at Christmas and I think I'm really lucky to have everything I have. And, friends, family, a home, a decent amount of money to be able to live, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's important. Number 6, nostalgia. Remembering sort of Christmases and years gone by. It always conjures up really happy memories of Christmases from my childhood. and yeah, just of all the good times. So it's a really nice time. And, often on TV they'll have sort of nostalgia programs like countdowns of the best Christmas song and that kind of thing. And it all just takes you back to those special times. Number 7, Christmas TV and films. It's my favourite thing. Who doesn't love a Muppet Christmas Carol at Christmas? Or a bit of Morecambe and Wise? You can't, it's not Christmas without it. Number 8, the food. I think the food is probably the most magical part of Christmas. Don't you agree? Because no other time of the year would you sort of eat nearly as much food as you do at Christmas. You abandon diets and you have the perfect excuse for eating a ton of cheese and not feeling guilty. So that's great. I think that's really magical. It sort of lets you just release and relax and just do what you want. Number 9, Christmas decorations. Even though I don't personally have any up because A, I'm never here. I didn't say that. I am here. I'm in and out. So I don't sit down enough to appreciate them. And my cats would just tear them down anyway, so it's absolutely pointless. But I get to enjoy a lovely big Christmas tree at work, and when I go home, my mum always puts a Christmas tree up and lots of decorations, and everywhere else I go, there are always decorations, so I don't really feel the need to do it at home, because then it's just an extra thing for me to have to do. But it's very nice in the dark winter days when the days are short and it's all dark and gloomy. It's really nice to have those twinkling little Christmas lights. Just brightening things up a little bit and just for things to look a little bit different rather than just the same old, the way it looks every other day of the year. Number 10, the drink. It's the one time of the year where it's just about acceptable to have a drink before midday. A Bucks Fizz or maybe a glass of Prosecco, maybe some mulled wine, a little sherry, whatever takes your fancy, but nobody would look down on you for having a little tipple before 12 o'clock. Number 11. Did I mention cheese? Because cheese is a hugely magical part of Christmas, and wine, and chocolate. Number 12. The weather. Although these days I'm not that partial to winter and the cold anymore. I do like sort of coming home and snuggling up with a blanket with the cats beside me and being all cosy. I love that. That's a nice happy place to be. That's pretty magical. 13, candles. You just can't have Christmas without candles. Candles and Christmas go hand in hand, I think. You just have to have them. A bit emotional about that. 14. People are, on the whole, friendlier and more cheerful. Goodwill to all men and all that kind of thing. Unless, of course, you work with the general public in retail or customer service or whatever, and then people do tend to treat you like crap. But we'll try and gloss over that because it's just not fun. And my full sympathy goes to anyone who has to deal with members of the public at that time. Often around Christmas they do sort of perk up a bit and, you get the old Merry Christmas and things like that. So that's always nice. So every cloud. 15. I think that this time of year has quite a nice sense of closure about it. So we're coming to the end of the year. And, particularly this year, on a larger scale, it's not been a brilliant year. Although, personally, I've had a very good one. Thank you very much. So, I guess it's just a sense that this chapter is coming to an end. And, in a few days, we'll be able to start afresh, as it were. I know it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It's just numbers on a calendar, really, when you think about it. But you still have that feeling that it's coming to an end and we're winding down and, we're about to launch into a new year where everything's going to be better. And, we're going to be healthier, happier. The world is going to be better. Hope. Fingers crossed. I've got to hope. And now I've got a few suggestions from my friends from the Book of Face. I asked them earlier what they thought made Christmas magical. Alex says, is it bad to say a few days off work? Lol. No, it's not bad at all. We all think it. He also says spending time with friends and family. Couldn't agree more. 17, Michael says children and their spirit. Oh, that's very nice. And very Charles Dickens. It makes me think of the Christmas Carol for some reason. Number 18, Jimmy says that he is finding that Christmas magic is and comes from very different things than he used to think, which is, I think, is really interesting, and I agree. Like I was saying earlier about presents, you know, they're not necessary and blah, blah, blah. He also says Christmas jumpers. And, you know, I also fully agree with that, because who doesn't love a good Christmas jumper? I have several. I know many people do. I think it's a thing that's really big right now. People didn't used to go for Christmas jumpers, but they do love them now. Shops are doing a roaring trade. Number 19, Hannah says, Baby Jesus. He hasn't featured much in my Christmases of late, but I hear he's making a comeback quite soon. Number 20, Wendy says, obviously Panto, silly, followed by a round of, oh no it isn't, oh yes it is, with Jimmy. Tim also says Panto, and since I'm in Panto right now, I probably would say Panto. Panto. And number 21, last one, Matt says traditions. And I'd agree with that. So often we do the same thing every single Christmas, or very similar things every single Christmas, whether you open your presents at the crack of dawn, right after Santa's been, or whether you wait until after lunch. We've all got those little Christmas rituals. That makes it sound a bit sinister. I didn't mean it like that, but you get what I mean. So there you go. 21 magical things about Christmas.